Hi everybody, welcome back to Sew Like Dotty. I'm Alison and today it's all about bags. So in Sew Virtual this month we are having a bag challenge. You've still got a week. It runs until the 20th of February 2025. If you want to join the Sew Virtual session, it's Tuesday and Wednesday morning this week. Just a couple of less because I'm covering a colleague at work. So I thought I would talk about the 4 bag patterns that I think could really cover you for every occasion. And I'm going to start possibly not where you expect me to. So number 1 is create your own bag template. Now I have got these templates here. There might be a little bit of rustling, and I created these quite a long time ago. So I use these for rectangles. So I'll put the measurement of the blue one. This would create a rectangle tote bag, which you could do lined or unlined. And I will put the dimensions in the description box. Now I would cut this on the fold lengthways, and then I would mark which is the top. So I knew, because they are very similar by the dimensions. I've also got in here a template for a strap. So you can see on there it says tote bag strap cut on fold, but with this the cut on fold is on the shorter length, so you would do 2 of these and that would give you your straps. And I just come in from the side. I think I do about 4 inches from either side and a 1 centimetre seam allowance right round. Really straightforward to do. And I made a lot of these. They're one of the basic things that we did in my sewing school to get people used to sewing in straight lines and backstitching and things like that. Now that for me evolved into a curved bag. Well, actually what happened was I went to Liberty and fell in love with their floral tote bags, which have a ruffle round the edge, but I didn't quite want to pay the price for them. So when I came home I thought, well, I can take that rectangle and I can turn it into a rounded bag. Now I just played around with this for a little while till I got the shape. Again, it's cut on fold. There won't be dimensions for this, but it's just to encourage you to have a little play. I made a few of these. I've got some examples to show you in a second. But then what happened was, I thought they're great for if I'm popping out to the shop or if I just want a few bits in. But what if I went on holiday and I wanted a beach bag? So I traced that shape out, but I added a few bits on. Sorry about the rustling. And I made it wider. So you see it says cut on fold. Now it's only about 1.5 inches wider, and I have done it even wider still. Now I can't show you it because it's in the loft in my holiday suitcase. You know how you keep things in your suitcase, but you get the general idea. So I'm just taking one pattern. I use the same straps. They're a length I like for across the shoulder, just like a carry strap but not too short, and I run with this. So I'll show you some of those. So just create a template, because I keep up there, you'll see a white basket, and that's got scrap fabric, leftover bits that I think could be suitable to line a bag or make the outside of a bag. So the bags that I'm going to show you were all leftover bits. So this first one, I can't remember where I got these from. I've had them for years. If they're all creased, it's because they mostly live in my car boot. So if I'm going somewhere, I can just grab them. Now, I generally do them all lined. Some of them have pockets and some of them don't. But you'll get the gist. So with these, you can see I just created, I've no idea of the dimensions that I did for this. I just did a super long strip, turned it into a tube, folded in the end, and then I just placed it fairly randomly, folded it over. I did try gathering it, but it got a bit tricky coming around the edge with the gathers. So when I put the outer fabrics together, I just folded this into it, and it's quite cute. Hope you'll agree. So that is a very simple but rounded bag. I think this might have been fabric that the students used, the girls that came, for pyjamas. I'm guessing some of them did in that. This is probably one of my very early makes, because it was a duvet cover that I made a toile of the indigo dress in, which I hated. and then I made 13 of them. So it's exactly the same. It's a bit more lighter weight. That's a cotton poplin. This is more a lighter cotton, but exactly the same. But you can maybe just see sort of the gathered ruffle a little bit more on that. I've also done this design and I've just put a ruffle straight across the edge, but I haven't got that one to show you because I've given it as a gift. So these cost you a little bit of time, not much. If you've got the template, it's really quick and easy to do. And as I say, if you wanted it in a hurry, you don't even have to line it. You could just turn the top in. But yeah, simple little tote bags. And just to show you one of the rectangle ones, I literally had to pull receipts and all sorts out of these today, so nothing fell out. This is a pair of Suero pants that I've got in this embroidered denim, and that is the rectangle one. So the length of the strap works for me. Pop it on, it sits under my arm about there. You could put longer straps on, just play with it. So maybe you were expecting a pattern, not create your own template, but it's easier than you think. So get a bit of paper out, do a little drawing, but as I say, I will put the dimensions of the rectangle cut on the fold. You would have 2 for the outer, 2 for the lining, and then with the straps cut on fold, and you just need 2 of those. Easy. And I bet you've got scraps somewhere, and if not, piece things together and do a bit of patchwork, make your own bags. So that is bag number 1. You can take it shopping, you can take it on a trip to town, you can take it to the beach, you can take it anywhere, and you can give it as a gift. So I have got like a sneaky little addition to bag 1, because this week, if you watched my vlog on Friday, I was doing some embroidery on my machine, which was this panel here, which I had no intention when I did it that it would develop into anything. I'd just cut a rough rectangle of fabric to do it with. I just wanted to play. But then I thought, well, actually, it's probably about the size of my tote bag. So I got the template out and I cut a back out. I didn't line it. It's just, oh, I did line it. I am lying. There we go. Lined that. It's a bit rough and ready because I was having a play, but I wanted to show you what I did. So with this one, I've put, I don't know what you call this. Do you put a gusset? Is it a gusset? I don't know what it's called, but I just cut a strip and kept it going. So I joined it all the way around. I curved the edges. So all I did to curve those edges was I laid it on the table. I put my coaster on, so anything round, plant pot or anything, I drew round it with a pen and then I cut it round. That made it a lot easier than trying to put it together on the square, and it's just rounded on the lining and on the bottom corner there, and I quite like that. I think I did this about 3 inches wide and did a 1 centimetre seam allowance. I just put some little, whatever you call them, reinforced bits at the side, and created a strap out of the denim. And this is a slouchy bag. This is the sort of thing I would probably take to the beach, or if I'm going somewhere and I need to bring my laptop in at the minute. And as you can see, I did pop. It was last minute, so it's not as nicely finished as I would like it to be, but I did pop this zip in because normally you would kind of put this probably in a bit earlier than I did with this. But these are just some zips that I got off Amazon, the coloured ones that I like, and I just popped that into the top. So bag number 2, let's go a bit more glam. Now I have this pattern, but I've not actually fully made it yet. I kind of ran out of time when I was going to North East Frocktails. So you might guess that the bag for every occasion is the sew over it bow bag, and I'll pop some pictures in here because you can make it to match your outfit, or you could do it in a different fabric. And it's a simple clutch with a bow on the side, but the idea is you put your hand inside the bow like that so you can grip onto your bag, or if you wanted to, you could add a wristlet or something like that on. When I say I didn't quite make it, I ran out of time. So when I was going to, I think it was a ball that I was going to, I just made a rectangle, the part with the zip on, and put a wristlet on, and I was like, that'll do. But I do think, you know, super sparkly for Christmas, or all of these bags, you could change them and make them out of like leatherette or vinyl. Just so many different fabrics on the market now, and we're all loving bags right now. So if you are wanting something for like a nice occasion, a bit more glamorous, check out the Sew Over It bow bag. So for me, bag number 3 is taking the tote bag and taking it to another level. And I had 2 options for this. I had the Sew Over It tote pack, which I've made and I really like. I'll pop a picture of my version of that in here if I can find it, if not a Sew Over It one. But I also, when it was a gift to November last year, there was an awful lot of people making the buckthorn bag by Noodlehead, which is this one just here. Now with this one, you kind of get a 2-for-1 because you get a tote bag, or you can make it as like a tote bag / rucksack. And I decided that I wanted to make the rucksack. It was part of my plans for February in this gorgeous fabric just here, which came from Studio 77, their January bag box thing. I just bought it as a one-off. I love the pink zip. I love this fabric. Now this fabric has been interesting to work with. Only interesting because I decided that I still wanted to interface it, and I had some fusible, you know, the foam interfacing, and then with the lining you just use the iron-on interfacing. But this fabric kind of already had some interfacing on it, and that made it really tricky, I'm not going to lie, to work with. This might sound like Friday's vlog. Nothing wrong with the pattern at all. It literally just made it like just quite tricky to maneuver around. And is it 100% perfect? No. But as I always say to people, you buy things from the shop that aren't. And the bit that I would want better if I could would be the finish of the binding around the edge. And partly because I couldn't press it because my iron, at this point, the last thing that I was doing actually melted part of it. And I thought, oh, I've not got enough to do it again. But I've managed to do that. I've used a continuous zipper, and I put one of these little ends on, which was from First for Fabric. So I think that finishes it really nicely, rather than, I wasn't keen on the fabric bit on the end, which I did put on and then I took off. I think I got this zipper tape from Purple Stitches. So I've got this little flower zipper pull here. You actually stitch this end into your bias tape so it won't come off on that end. There's a pocket on the front here, and you make one long handle and you fold this over. And it really confused me because I knew there was 2 handles, but it kept talking about the hanging strap, and I kind of thought a little loop, but actually the second handle, just so you don't spend time wondering where the dimensions are, is actually this one here. So it's got the rucksack straps on there, and they just clip into here. Now I put feet on the bottom because the reason I wanted this to be super strong was I think I'll be taking my laptop when I go on holiday on this, so I wanted it a bit more padded and I wanted it quite strong. So I've tried to sort of reinforce it as I've gone. I have made the tote pack before, but I made that in more of a soft cotton canvas, so it was a bit easier to work with. But I do really like the pattern, and I would definitely make it again. If I was making it in a fabric that already had a interfacing on like this, I wouldn't put anything else on, I don't think. I think I made my job harder than I needed to. And I put a little label on there from Rosy Cheeks, which is the swing it, shake it, move it, made it. So I've just centred that with the pocket on the front. I don't know if I would really put anything, I wouldn't put anything important in that pocket, like my passport or a phone or anything like that, because it is right on the back of the rucksack. But what I do like about this, it sort of jingles. So if anybody was trying to sort of pull that zipper back, it's not easy to get into, and that does do a little jingle jangle, which I quite like. Maybe if I was going on holiday, I might put a little, one of those bell things or something like that on the end of it. But I'd be using it to go through the airport more than anything else. So I'm really happy with that. Now, what's interesting about this pattern is you get the dimensions written out for all of the pattern pieces apart from the base. So this piece here is the base of the backpack. So it's an oval, and I've not cut this out fully, but when you make it as a tote, it's more rounded. But apart from that, it's just dimensions, and I drew those out onto paper and created a pattern. And although the instructions were clear, there is a 3 vlog sew along for this pattern on the Noodlehead YouTube site, and I use that. I just followed along with that, and I've enjoyed making it. It's just finished, hot off the machine. So that is bag number 3. Now the reason I thought of that, because I had those floppy sort of tote bags earlier, but if you want something that's just a little bit more robust, you could use that, but I do think you could develop the template further. So you could have straps on the side, you could do different things with it. So you've got like just a bit more of a substantial tote bag, I think. And I do think with something like that, it is great. We were talking about this on So Virtual. I know Alison was talking about it. And we both said we put feet on the bottom of those sort of bags. Those ones came from Amazon. They just screw in. So I actually put them onto the base before I attached the base onto the outside of the bag. And they screw right in. So they're absolutely great. So bag number 4 probably isn't a shock right now. Now don't switch off when I say the name of this bag, because the whole world is making them and there is a reason for it, and I was very late to the party. But when I started So Virtual in January, everybody was talking about the Bestie bag. Now you might not use the Bestie bag. I know that Fibre Mood have a crescent bag. There are lots of different crescent tote bags, but I do think the most popular one is probably the Bestie bag. Now I'm sure you've heard of it before. If you get the standard pattern, which I did, you get the medium and the large, but there is an add-on for a smaller one. So Radiance from So Virtual, I think, has made 8. She loves it and she's made all sizes. And Heather has made a lovely one in that gold denim from Fabric Godmother. Again, you could make this in like pleather. You could glam it up. So I was thinking, because I'll show you the one that I made, but I was thinking, I think I will get the smaller pattern, because if I do like a crossbody bag, and if I was going for a night out, I could put like a leather strap on it and I could have a more glamorous bag, but a smaller version of it. So the one that I made wasn't in the original fabric I was going to do it in. Actually, I was going to do it in that very light denim, but I fell in love a long time ago with the Maggie print from Fabric Godmother, and I didn't know that it was in their denim base. So once I found out that it was, I ordered 1/2 metre for the medium size bag. Now the pattern says 0.7 of a metre, but they only sell in 1/2 or 1 metre. It's £9.50 a metre, so I didn't want to order, £9.50 for 1/2 metre. So I didn't want to spend £18–19 on a metre of fabric when I was going to have loads left. So I took a gamble on the 1/2 metre. Now obviously it depends on the width, but I had plenty left. So should I show you it here? So this is my Bestie bag. I did the strap in it as well. So if I wanted to use less fabric, I could just use some webbing for the strap. You've got that option. I popped in another one of those zips from Amazon. So this is brown with pink. And I just lined it in some fabric from my leftover stash, some Nerida Hansen that I had from a pair of trousers last year. And I popped Creativity Never Goes Out of Style, another little rosy cheeks bag on label on there. Now I didn't have any interfacing that was suitable at the time, but what I did have was a roll of like quilt wadding that I'd not used, so I actually put that on. I just basted it to the outer pieces. I'll pop it on. I wear my bags quite low because I actually already had a few of these that I shop bought, so hopefully you can see that there. So the medium, I think, is big enough. I don't want to go any bigger than that. Paula from So Virtual said, honestly, I take a drink, I take my lunch, I take my purse, I take my phone. I think you can see how much room there is in there. So I think I would only make a large maybe if I was travelling, but ideally at the moment I would take my buckthorn rucksack with me if I was, you know, travelling on a flight or something. I have got some pleather, so I would like to make one of these in pleather, but I have a different version already underway. So when the guys were saying to me, the girls, that, oh, you'll make one and then you'll just want to make another, I kind of thought, oh, I don't really get it. But it's a scrap buster. It's a fairly easy make. The next one that I'm doing, I will share with you over the next week or two, probably over in 2 weeks' time. And I just think sometimes it's nice to just do something for me that's not garments. So I've really enjoyed recently, as I've mentioned, dropping the pace a little bit, taking things a bit slower, tackling some different patterns. And these are definitely things that I've not made before. Apart from tote bags, I've not really made any bags. I don't want to be obsessively making them. There's only so many bags that I can use, but I am really enjoying doing some different things, and I've definitely fallen in love with the Bestie bag. So there will be some more, what can I say? So they're my 4 patterns, which really would do me for any occasion. You might have some others, but I do think, you know, obviously you can get into more complex like handbag styles and things like that. They're not really my vibe. You've seen the sort of dresses that I wear, so casual is more my thing. And I have leather handbags and things at home that I tend not to use because I tend to be running in and out and grabbing something that's more like this. So these are ideal for me. But I would like to definitely make something out of pleather, probably one of these at some point. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what your favourite bags are. And if you do want to join the Sew Virtual challenge, all the details for Sew Virtual. So if you think of what's Sew Virtual, it's literally a gang of friends getting together over a cuppa and a bit of sewing and some mostly sewn chat, but occasionally we'll go off piste and we have another bit of chat, we have a bit of fun, and it's like getting all your sewing friends round and just doing that, but you're online instead. We're having a great time and I'd love you to be part of that, but I'd also like to know about the sort of bags that you're making, so drop me some messages and let me know.